what do you feel like is shifting right now in the mindset of how you talk to the consumer, and what is it that the consumer expects through personalization when it comes to their shopping experience? And like, let's just start at the beginning of the process.
Yeah, so I would say the first thing is just recognizing the fact that the way we used to do things is not the way we should ever do them again. So Rhonda Conger just put out a phenomenal new book called New Market, New You. And with that, we need to look at the fact that if we go back to the way that we did things before, we are going to suffer miserably. And unfortunately, I believe what's happening to a lot of sales teams today is they were reverting back to bad habits, which is why sales are down across the board about 40–50%. If we look at a consumer and we recognize how we personally shop, it's really no different than how our consumers shop. So I challenge executive teams across the country, and I say this: if you sit your entire executive team in a conference room and you say, if you were to buy a home today, what are the minimal things that you expect? What do you expect in regards to follow-up? What do you expect in regards to talking to a salesperson, warranty, construction, your meetings? And you start putting those on the board, and then you ask the question, how many of those are we actually doing as an organization? I think you'd be blown away by how few of those we actually do. And it's because we are stuck in an environment where we were used to doing something for so long, but what we actually think and believe is different from what we used to do. So there is a huge disconnect from how consumers, for most companies, interact to what they actually do. There's a saying that I absolutely love, and I was with a small private builder for a long period of time. Started it up from scratch 2012, and we sold it to TriPoint Homes in December of 2018. And when we were a small private builder, when I say small private, we got up to 450 homes in Dallas-Fort Worth, but in Dallas-Fort Worth, 450 is not a lot. But we used to have a statement that said we need to out-national the local and out-local the national. One of the things that I love about this particular summit is that, yes, there are some national home builders here, but the majority of builders are small to medium sized. There is such an advantage to being small to medium sized over somebody like K. Hovnanian, which literally it's like steering the Titanic, or a Pulte or a Toll Brothers or anything like that. There's so much challenges that go along with shifting 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 homes a year, where if you're doing 100, 200, 400, you can really move and maneuver better. So I challenge you to out-national the local, out-local the national, which if you really think about what that means, you have such a huge advantage to do things different and to really capture more of the market share than what people have today.
So
it's Rhonda Conger, New Market, New You.
New Market, New You. That's a really good title.
Right, she's a genius.
Oh, is she?
I think
I need
so.
to meet her. I'm gonna Google her after this. You mentioned, what are the things that you would expect? So do you personally have some things that you would expect as a home buyer?
Well, for one, it's interesting because I'm a vice president of sales and I hate salespeople. So, and I think for the most part,
those make the best salespeople,
right? Most people probably don't like to be sold anything, but we like to be educated and guided into a decision. You know, I'm one of those people that I love technology, and way before COVID ever occurred, I was doing unassisted entry. I was doing Atlas RTX text message-based applications for follow-up. You know, we do everything. I live in a divorced household, and so I have my girls. I got to flip-flop my girls this week, and so I was like, okay, I have my girls when I get home Thursday, Friday. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. They're very active. And so when I got the text message, hey, we can flip days this week, you can have the girls, I was like, this is great. And I immediately thought, well, what am I going to do with them? I went on Amazon, looked up ornament making kits because we're going to put up the tree, and then that's how we think, that's how we shop, right? It's just immediate. But when we shop for a home, why are we not giving the same ability to our consumers? Why are we not allowing them to do online shopping or design center selections or truly build out a home all the way up to the fact of completing it? And very few companies are actually doing that. That's what I would want. I shop and I do everything through my phone. I don't even know the last time. Well, I went to Nordstrom's here the other day. That was the last time I was probably physically in a store in probably 2 years.
Well,
to shop for myself.
Yeah, I was the same. I was walking around. I was like, oh, I'll just pop in here real quick. But that's not how I typically, that's not the default setting, right? And I love the conversation around tech. I think this conference does a really good job of bringing in some of the people that are forward thinking and talking about how they can integrate. Mert, you're one of them. Like, you weren't on my radar before this. And you remember when we first met and I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is so cool. Like, why is everybody not doing this? And you know, I've met so many great people since we've been here. I think I had a really good conversation with Mine and they're like, consumers can buy things online. Like, there's so many good tech solutions. You can shop from when you're in the store, like just like you would in a model home, and have it delivered to your house. Like, there's so many wonderful tech solutions here. So think about the ones that are going to matter to your consumer and where you can start to fill in the gaps and find those partnerships. And everybody that I've talked to here in the past 3 days are so eager to try to help you. You know, like, and that's what I think you were sort of alluding to, like working with some of the medium-sized builders, the smaller builders, getting involved with them can help us come along as an entire industry, not just as like one individual builder, but like really partnering with some of the companies that are here and taking it to the next level.
We're in the placemaking business, right? So what I loved about yours, and when I saw the presentation yesterday, I sent a text message to my chief marketing officer, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, we have so many inventory homes now. All of us inadvertently have inventory homes due to cancellations that are beautiful, but they're empty. Right? And so you're taking and you're allowing you to visualize how you would live in that home. I did the same thing with Bennett. I thought mine was fantastic. You know, how many times do we get, as a salesperson or somebody who trains salespeople, I'm just looking for furniture or whatever it is. Well, how awesome of an idea would it be to walk them through and say, hey, we got something really cool that most other builders don't have. You can actually shop our furniture. And then you get, what is like a 7.5% return on it. I mean, it's insane.